Hey y'all, welcome back. Hope everyone's been doing good. A couple videos ago I ran y'all through all the fruit and one nut tree, the wild pecan that we have on site. Today I want to go through all the shrub layer along with the herbaceous and ground cover layer. I didn't want it to be a really short video. I don't have a lot of variety in those areas, but I do have certain things that I really like to use to fill out those layers of my food forest here. So let's start in the front here. I've got my shrub layer, which is all blueberries here in the front, and I planted these all this year. There's 8 of them on this side and 2 on the other side over there. Some of them are looking pretty rough because we've been having drought and I haven't really been watering very much, but some of them are still producing some berries, and like this Delight blueberry, and they're very delicious. You'll have to just trust me. Okay, so that's basically it for the shrub layer here in the front. I mean, I've got some ornamental shrubs like this native Virginia sweet spire. I've got this Abelia, which is really pretty but not native, and that's about it. They're not really incorporated into this food forest area right here. In the back, let's head there and discuss the shrubs back there real quick. Bam! Surprise! We're in the back. How'd that happen? Anyway, one of my favorite shrubs that I haven't gotten to taste the berry on yet, but it's just really cool, is this Suicine mulberry. And like a jaboticaba, it makes fruit on the main woody stems. And this one died back all the way in the freeze last year. Actually, this one right here. And I had taken a bunch of cuttings from it. And this one in the shade's doing really well. Over onto this side over here. Hey, chickie girls. Excuse me. Over on this side, I've got one that's been in the full sun, planted at the same time as that one. Not really starting any new growth beyond what it was in a pot when I planted it. So they seem to like the shade a little bit. Other shrubs I have back here, my thornless blackberries. And these are a year old. They're massive. All this new growth is going to make my berries next year. All this old growth is making the berries this year, and it will be cut back after I'm done picking berries. But I did pick some off of here earlier today that were fully ripe, and they're so good. So this is fully thornless, and that's the way I like my plants. Lastly, I've got this sweet scarlet Goumi, which is really starting to take off. I need to take out that sucker growth from below the root graft, or below the graft, and I'm going to take some cuttings of this one because I really want some more of this in the front. Do I have any more shrubs back here? I've got some gardenias over there. They're not in the food forest. Yeah, I've got 4 blueberries back here. So these are my original plants, and they're still making some berries. They didn't do that well this year. It's been really dry, and I haven't been keeping up with watering very well, and so a lot of the berries have just like dried out that they were making and just fallen off. We did get some. Oh, there's a shrub. That's an elderberry right there that I planted this year. And that growth going to the side there is what was in the pot, and this new growth going straight up and down is what it's sent out since I stuck it in the ground this year. And it's doing pretty good over in my little wilderness area over here. So, oh my gosh, y'all, I completely forgot about my pineapple guava. I have 2 pineapple guava, or Feijoa, up in the front, and I know I've talked about those many times, so Don't forget those. Shrub layer, very important. Delicious edible flowers, delicious fruit. So now let's get to the herbaceous and the ground cover. So these are kind of separated from the rest of the food forest, and they're making some seeds right now, but these are asparagus, and these I grew from seed, and they've been in the ground. It'll be 3 years next year, so I'll start harvesting from these next year, but I've kind of just been letting them grow for now. This one back here is making tons of little berries, so I'll get plenty of seeds. I can plant more of these in pots, and then I can give them away to people, because you know that's what I like to do with my plants. Other herbaceous, I've got ground cherries growing up. Love ground cherries. They're so good. They're like really, really sweet tomatoes almost, but I don't think they really taste much like tomatoes. They're way too sweet, but they're delicious. Of course, got lots of herbs like holy basil, tarragon, yarrow, garlic chives. Those all make great herbaceous options. Gotta have comfrey. #1 plant in the food forest. This feeds everything that needs to be fed, either through liquid or chop and drop. And then back here for ground cover, oh, see, I told y'all, I dug up the comfrey over here, and I said some roots broke off, and I just knew that some baby comfrey were going to sprout out of the ground. So I'll dig these up and pot them up and give them to people. But, oh yeah, ground cover. Back here, the strawberries are really starting to suffer from being under the shade of all these blackberries. I'm going to dig most of these up and move them to the front for next year. Production's really slowed down a lot, but we're still getting some berries. Another ground cover back here, so I'll just do the back and finish up and then go back to the front, is this Touch Me Not. It's a native mimosa, and it has little cute flowers. It fixes nitrogen, and it's really fun for kids or adults, because when you touch it, all the leaves close up. So, pretty cool little plant. I like it anyway. Here's some random Malabar spinach coming out of my compost. That's a good herbaceous ground cover type thing. This is a native called frog fruit, and it's also growing out of my compost area here, along with this giant volunteer tomato, which has got some little tomatoes forming up in there, so we'll see what that is, what they end up being. Oh, it's got a bunch back there too. Can you see those? Yeah, they're hidden back there, but nice. Love free food. That's pretty much it for back here, I guess. Another herbaceous I really like is this Virginia pepperweed. It's a native, and it's really spicy, like a mustard. It's in the mustard family, it's related to it, but it has roots kind of like horseradish. It's got seeds. You can use like black pepper. Start out kind of flavorless, and you get real hit of spice from same flavor from the roots, leaves, and seeds. And actually, when you pull these from the ground, kind of hot, spicy smell will fill the air, so pretty cool. The only other thing back here, it's not really in this food forest area, it's across the creek bed, but I've got a couple different kinds of mint back there. They make a good ground cover, and they're good to rip out every now and then, throw to the ladies. Alright, let's go check out what's in the front for ground cover and herbaceous. So I don't know if I've talked about this before, but my back food forest is kind of like a back to Eden style, just like sheet mulch the whole area, plant things in different places. But this front is more like an agroforestry style rows, although they are wavy rows with berms and swales, and I'm really trying to incorporate all the layers up here and get things integrated rather than kind of separated into their own areas. So we went over the blueberries, and over there, of course, the Feijoa. I'll walk by them at the end. Remind me. Anyway, so for Herbaceous up here, it's basically almost all daylilies. Got daylilies all throughout here, probably 50 different varieties. I do have some garlic chives in different areas, and of course Comfrey. Got to have Comfrey everywhere. Up here though, I've got a lot more ground cover. Ooh, one more Herbaceous. Artichoke. Can't wait for those. Let's back it up a little bit. So out here we've got Honeydew, golden honeydew starting to form. We've got Charleston gray watermelons, which this is tiny now, but it's going to get huge. We've got, sorry for spinning you, sugar baby watermelons. And this vine goes all the way to over here, right there, where we've got a sugar baby forming. These ones with the speckled leaves are moon and stars. And there's a little one forming over here. That's coming from the moon and stars vine. Dead daylily leaves everywhere. That's okay. They help hold in moisture. And that's it for the melons on this side. And also on this side for ground cover, this front berm has sweet potatoes. And it's got orange ones and purple ones. So the leaves with like the purplish tint, and you can tell from the stem too, it's kind of purplish. That is the purple one. And then the other one has just green leaves and a green stem. So it's kind of hard to tell the difference. After the purple ones get older, they start to turn more greenish, but you can really tell on these fresh leaves. This is the purple one. So this is finally taking over this swale. I say finally, it didn't take long. That's the ground cover for that side. I've also started strawberries up here. These are on the sidewalk for whoever wants to pick them. And I'm going to keep those going all the way to the Feijoa. And I'm going to fill up this whole big wide area. That's a Turk's cap hibiscus. That's another shrub that I added in this year. That's what happens when I don't walk to a place. I forget about everything I planted there. Alright, let's get the rest of the ground cover on this side, and we'll start here with these Tahitian melon squash, which are doing really well. This one's going to turn kind of light, like that bottom is starting to turn, and then it'll turn more like yellowish, like a butternut. But I've got 1, 2, 3, bunch of little ones in here. There's at least 6 that I've counted all throughout here, all different sizes. And then this one over here is a South Anna squash. And then over here, I'm not sure if this one's growing yet or if it's going to fall off. But this is a Seminole pumpkin. See, it's starting to yellow. I think this one's going to fall off, but it's got a healthy vine, so I'm hoping that it'll make more for me. Got more South Anna and Tahitian. How did I forget all my shrub layer? I've got Roselle right here and over there. And I think that's about it. Everything on this side, aside from these persimmons is just native plants or wild things that came up on their own. So this isn't really food for us, but I do love this area. Look at how the goldenrod, since I cut them back a while ago, so you can see where I cut them back right there, and they've just branched out. It's going to be covered in flowers, like I keep telling y'all. Got some millet coming up too that the birds have been eating on, and of course everyone's been loving the sunflowers that are growing and eating the tops off of them. So I think that about does it for today. Hope you'll excuse me for getting half of my plants, and at least I went back to them and remembered about them. You know, there's always that for the win. So thank y'all for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye. So it started pouring down after I finished my video, and I just thought I'd come out in the rain and show you all the nice Louisiana weather that we love to have down here.